I think that's your best bet.
Absolutely. Matt Hicks, real quickly, any thoughts on LeBron James?
I'm like crazy in the minority on this one too. I'm really on a limb. I actually think the two most likely destinations for him are staying in Cleveland or actually going to Houston. I don't think now this Kawhi Leonard thing has really spiced things up. If you can legitimately find a way to get Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and LeBron James on the same team, I think that would be intriguing to James. I assume it would be. But the big puzzle piece in this is you have to find a team to take Lonzo Ball. And I got to tell you, I don't think you're going to find a team to take Lonzo Ball. I really don't. I think
is that because of his dad?
I think because of his dad, and plus, I don't think he's as valuable as the Lakers think he is. He's got a lot of potential, but you throw in his dad on top of that, I don't think it's going to happen, but perhaps it could. I just think that Cleveland actually has a little bit of flexibility to do some things. They could bring in someone in trade or free agency to entice LeBron to stay, but there's obviously a lot of bad blood there between him and the owner. But I think Houston is a real possibility. I think you think about Chris Paul, LeBron James, and James Harden, and then also potentially bringing in a Carmelo Anthony as well. Now, obviously, you'd have to blow up that team completely around it. It'd be very thin, no depth at all. But that starting four by itself could probably get a lot done.
All right, guys, it's about time to wrap it up and put a bow on it, but I did want to get your thoughts on the World Cup. We'll start with you, Grant. The USA not in the World Cup, but the USA did get rights. USA, Canada, and Mexico did get rights for the World Cup in 2026, so we do get an automatic bid at that time. Kind of sucks that the USA is not in it. Are you watching much of the World Cup? Did you see the Portugal-Spain draw yesterday?
Unfortunately, I did not. I was focusing on Pacers off-season content and completely forgot it was on.
Well, you don't see a draw that much, but we certainly saw one yesterday. Matt, are you paying attention to the World Cup at all?
Not a bit. No. In fact, I think soccer in North America has a real uphill battle to garner a ton of interest before it comes back here. In that time period. I mean, I truthfully, I like Grant. I completely forgot it was on. And I would be concerned. In fact, here locally, there was a story in the local paper about how Indianapolis missed out on being one of the host cities in this bid. And you know what? I don't know that wasn't a blessing in disguise. I'm concerned about because World Cup, when it happens, there's just tons of interest and fervor about U.S. soccer. But now that we're not involved with it, I think there's a concern there because it seems to peak and valley with World Cup and the Olympics, and the interest because of the lack of success of the U.S. team. I think is maybe I'm way off here, but I think it's like at an all-time low. So no, I forgot about it. My circle of friends has not come up in conversation at all. So I have not paid attention even a little bit to it.
Well, I have no friends. That's why I knew it was going on. No, I'm just kidding. I have no life. Obviously it's just things that have been talked about. But, we do talk about soccer, once every 4 years or whatever it is. But the thing is, we look at locally here, Matt and Grant, we look at the Indy 11. They have a great fan following. So I think in local pockets inside the USA that it's very popular. I think it's very popular with younger kids who spend a lot of their years as a child playing soccer and learning soccer. But I think us older guys, get off my lawn, guys, we don't follow soccer as much. And I think you're right, Matt. They have to do a lot to increase their fan base on that. So we'll see how that goes. Grant, where can people find your work and your masterpieces, sir?
You can find most of my Pacers off-season content on indianasportscoverage.com, and I also have a few columns during the off-season for the Kokomo Tribune coming up, and I'll have one in particular about the NBA draft very soon.
Fantastic. Matthew Hicks, where can people find your work, masterpieces, putting together a playset,
when
whatever?
I am so moved, I post things to Twitter at HicksM05. I'm not a constant poster or a habitual poster, but I will be filling in for the Hall of Famer himself, Bob Lovell, hosting Indiana Sports Talk with my old radio partner, John Samasco, Jersey Johnny, on July 7th. That's the next time you can hear me on radio.
All right. Sounds good. We'd love having you on. Matthew, Grant, you guys have yourself a good Father's Day weekend. We'll talk with you soon.
All right. Great.
Thanks,
Tom.
Thanks. Matt Hicks, a good friend of the show, and grant-afseth, certainly of the Kokomo Tribune, college student out at Arizona State studying sports journalism, certainly very much into the NBA and NBA analytics as well. Well, we've coasted all along throughout the whole show. Coming up into our final segment. Again, if this would be a place we would jump to a break, well, not going to happen today because I don't know what's going on. And I didn't have time to fix it, so we're just going to keep on rolling. Because, when we're commercial break, we don't really do anything anyway. We just stand here, so we might as well just talk a little bit extra to our guest or whatever. Hey, why we're on the subject of whatever we're on the subject of, make sure this Father's Day that you take time to call your dad, spend time with your dad, because as a dad, your kids grow up fast, don't they? Man. So I hope all the fathers have a great Father's Day weekend. Make sure you're also following us on Twitter at T-Balance, on Facebook. Just follow us. Just go to The Balance, hit like or follow, and you are in the loop. You are in our circle of trust. I want to thank Matthew-Embury, our official Indy Car contributor, jumping on, talking with us a little bit about the 24-hour endurance Le Mans race. Le Mans race, not Le Mans. I said Le Mans earlier, and I don't know why I said that. It's not like they're giving birth or anything like that. And then we talked IndyCar as well and kind of go through the mid-season of IndyCar. We're standing by for Mo from the BS Sports Show. I'm going to talk with us a little bit. I'm going to continue this talk about James Watts and talk a little baseball and goes from there to there. Steve Wilson of Speedway Digest jumped on, joined us, talking NASCAR with us as well. Just got off the horn with grant-afseth, Matt Hicks, talking a little Andrew Luck, throwing a football, talking to the press, talking to the media. We like that. And so certainly got some confidence going and got the juices going, if you will, for the Colts. Is our beloved Andrew Luck back? Is he ready to go? So talked about that. We also talked a little bit about the NBA and, the Pacers and, of course, LeBron James. Where would he end up at? What are your thoughts? Where will he go? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm just going to say he's probably going to go to the Lakers, but I really don't give 1 ounce of where LeBron James is. I know there's a lot of LeBron James players out there, and we certainly will have that ongoing battle. Is LeBron James the greatest basketball player of all time? Is he better than Michael Jordan ever was? And that argument will continue on. I would say he's the best of this generation. Michael Jordan was the best of his generation. There have been many players that were the best of their generation. But I don't know that we could ever say that there's the greatest player of all time. I think the only way we could say that is if the NBA, or any sport for that matter, insert name here of sport, is no longer being played. Because as long as you're playing a sport at a very high level, you're going to have very high-level players. And out of those very high-level players, you're going to have great players. And out of those great players, you're going to have mega superstars like LeBron James, like Michael Jordan. But it's going to be of that generation. So, again, maybe I'm a weird, odd duck. I'm not sure. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. So you guys got big Father's Day plans? Hope you're spending some time lighting up the grill, maybe spending some time with dear old Dad. Maybe the kids are coming over. Make sure you get that steak on the grill. Give Dad, I'll tell you what, go over and mow your dad's lawn. Do that. Or maybe your dad does something like me. I just pay somebody to mow my lawn. I know. I'm pitiful. Pitiful. 917-889-8516. My digits. If you want to give us a call, feel free to do so. We've got about 19 minutes left on the clock. We're standing by for Mo from the BS Sports Show. Hopefully he'll be joining us here very soon. Soon and very soon, right? So, I mean, Matt brought up an interesting point as far as the popularity of soccer. Now, soccer is very popular on a world schedule, and we don't talk about soccer on here a lot. I was talking to someone just yesterday who loves soccer, and there's a lot of people who love soccer inside the U.S., but the USA not being in the World Cup, I don't know. I think Matt's onto something. I don't know that. I think they're going to have to do a lot over the next few years to increase popularity. Does that mean that the networks need to carry more U.S. soccer? Maybe. I mean, NBC does a good job of covering Manchester every Sunday, but they don't ever show USA soccer. Is that because USA fans aren't USA fans? They're soccer fans, and they follow teams like Manchester, Chelsea, and other teams as well. So we'll see. Doesn't it just feel like, and maybe we're just conditioned in our world that we just like to have everything done quickly, over with as soon as possible. Let's get a winner. Let's go on about our day. I mean, World Series, best of 7 games, whatever. The NBA championship, best of 7 games, whatever. The NFL, playoffs, Super Bowl, game over, whatever. But it just feels like with soccer and the World Cup and the qualifications and this group and that group and this phase and that phase, it just feels like that it takes forever to get to a championship. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just the world that we live in. Any golfers out there? U.S. Open is underway. I was just trying to pull up the leaderboard there. Man, I tell you what a beautiful course that is. You may have seen it like during the, I think it was the NCAA championship games. There were some Donald Trump impersonators walking around. Yeah, there was a Donald Trump impersonator at the U.S. Open. He got canned. Thought that was hilarious. We are standing by for Mo from the BS Sports Show. So we're doing what was called feeler time. Typically, we would have our commercials, and we would have those run. But as you can see, at the end of the line, we don't have our commercials. We are kind of in line to be in line. Oh, somebody stop me. I'm about the funniest guy you ever met. So I was trying to pull up the leaderboard. So just stand by. Stand by! All right, here we go. So we got Johnson, Thomas, Rose, Spieth, and Rahm all in the top 5. Obviously, Johnson, Thomas, and Spieth, all Americans in the U.S. Open. Tiger Woods is back, guys. Tiger Woods got his big old yacht parked in the harbor there at the Hamptons. His $22 million yacht. Yeah, let's not.